Hi, my name's Kelly and I live in Norwest, so just down the road from the hospital, and I was asked whether I'd like to deliver a 20-minute yoga sequence because I've been told that all the nurses are trying to do at least 20 minutes of exercise per day. So I've put this sequence together for you, so I hope you enjoy it. It's a sequence which will target the parasympathetic nervous system and also concentrate on moving lymph around the body as well. So looking at the engaging, triggering, however you would like to call it, the lymphatic system as well. So we will start in a seated position, so any comfortable seated position, legs crossed, legs out in front. Bring our hands to our knees, and we'll start with a couple of deep belly breaths. So inhaling through the nose, exhaling through the nose. Bring your hands to your belly if you like, and we'll do that together a few times. So on the inhale, feel the belly expand under your hands, and then exhale, draw the navel in towards the spine. Feel the belly soften. Inhale, feel the belly expand. Exhale, draw the navel towards the spine. Inhale. Exhale, navel to spine. One more time. Inhale. Exhale. So from here, actually before we continue, we'll move into the practice. I just wanted to let you know that this can be done without any props, but there is an option right at the end where you might want to use either a block, or if you don't have a block, you can use a brick. A book, a hard book's fine as well. They are just optional. I'll just mention them at the end. If you don't have any, then obviously don't worry about it. So yeah, from there we'll make our way into a child's pose. So just bring the big toes to touch. Knees can be out at mat distance apart, or just wider than the hips. And then just start to walk the hands out, tailbones towards the heels, and bring the head down towards the mat, so forehead's on the mat. Just reaching through the arms here, gripping the mat with the fingertips. And just start to bring your awareness to your breath, or back to the breath. So if at any point you want to come out of the pose, you can return to this child's pose if you like, if it feels good for you. So resting pose for today. On the next inhale, just making your way up to an all fours position, checking your shoulders stacked over your wrists and your hips stacked over your knees here. And then on the inhale, we'll drop the belly down, lift the gaze, keeping the shoulder blades down, away from the ears. And then on the inhale, exhale, round through the spine, pull the navel in, crown of the head comes towards the floor. Inhale, arching the spine, lifting the gaze. Exhale, navel to spine, round through the back. Do that one more time. Inhale, coming up. Exhale, rounding that down, dropping the head down, chin towards the chest. And then inhale, making your way back to your tabletop position. From here, take your left foot out to the left side. You want your toes pointed forward, and then just start to walk the hands up here. We'll be on the knees a little bit during this practice, so if you're using a mat, you can fold the mat over at any point, or you can just grab a little blanket or anything for the knee as well. And on the inhale, reaching the arms up. Exhale, dropping the left hand down, the left leg, sweeping the right arm over. Gaze can be up if it feels okay for the neck. And inhale, coming back up to center, step that left knee in, step the right leg out, toes pointing forward here. Inhale, to lengthen through the spine. And then exhale, just sending the right arm down the right side and sweeping the left arm over, palm down here. Notice if you're rounding forward here, trying to open up through the chest. And inhale to come back up to centre, step that knee in, and then plant the hands coming back in to our all fours position here. From here, bring the left hand in towards, so it's in front of your face, and then inhale, just sweep the right arm up, coming into a bit of a twist. Exhale, plant that hand down where the left hand was, and then inhale to reach the left arm up. Exhale, placing that left hand back down, moving back into our tabletop position. We'll just start to make some really big circles with the hips here. So starting to bring the hips over towards over the right heel, cross to the left heel, and then just making your way back over, bringing the weight up over the wrists if that feels okay for you. So just drawing really big circles with the hips. You might hear a couple of pops or cracks here, that's perfectly fine. Just really getting into the spine and the hips, and switching directions. And then coming up back into our tabletop position here. And inhale, lift the left leg up and see if you can bring the knee in towards the nose, rounding through the spine. Then exhale, lengthen that leg back out, toes pointing down, so if you can keep your hips nice and straight. Then exhale, knee to nose, hold it there. And see if you can plant that foot in between the feet at the front of the mat. Again, you might want to use some padding on that back knee. Checking that your knee is stacked over your ankle. And then inhale, reach the arms up. You can bring your hands just down to your hips just to check your hips are in line here. If they are, then inhale, reach the arms back up. Exhale, bring the palms together and then bring the palms down in front of the chest. And moving on the exhale, we'll rotate the body so we're facing the left. And then come down and see if you can place the elbow on the outside of the left knee. And then here we want to try and have a nice straight line between the two elbows, pushing into the palms of the hands here. You have the option of tucking the back toes, lifting that back knee off the ground. And exhale, wherever you are, releasing gently, making your way back up to our low lunge position. And exhale, just bring the hands back down to the mat. Step that left foot back. Checking your alignment again. And then sending the right leg out, pulling the navel in. On the exhale, bring the knee in towards the nose, around through the spine or the upper back. On the inhale, bring the leg out long behind you, toes pointing down, really engage the muscles in the leg there. On the exhale, knee to nose, around through the spine. And then see if you can plant that foot at the front of the mat, checking that your knee stacked over your ankle, and padding the knee if you like. And on the inhale, sweep the arms up. On the exhale, bring the palms together and just gently putting them down in front of the chest. On the exhale, rotating the body, the torso so you're facing the right side this time. And then see if you can take the left elbow on the outside of the right knee, pushing into the palms here. Maybe tucking the back toes, lifting that back knee off the ground. to challenge yourself a little bit more. And wherever you are, on the next inhale, slowly unwind and bring the arms up overhead. And then bringing the hands down to frame the front foot. Step that front foot back into our all fours position. Maybe just gently shaking the hips out here. You can send the gaze over the shoulder. And tucking the toes again, both toes this time. Start to walk the hands back, coming onto the balls of the feet. And see if you can wrap the arms around the shins and drop the head in here. This is ball of yarn. It's a little bit of a balancing pose. We'll just stay here for a couple of rounds of breath. See if you can breathe into the upper back here. Give yourself a little bit of a release in the back of the ribs. From here, release the arms. Start to straighten the legs very slowly. And onto the full foot here, so the full sole of the foot. Maybe moving the feet out so they're hip distance apart. You can bring your fists together, just bring them in between the feet here to get a nice hip distance. Keeping a bend in the knees and keep the back nice and straight. Letting the hands just dangle here if you like, or you can bring hands opposite elbows. Moving into a ragdoll pose, just see if you can release the neck, maybe gently shaking yes or no. You can bend one leg at a time, straightening the opposite leg. Continue to waken up the hips, getting some movement here. Letting the blood flow down in the opposite direction. Just dangling here. And eventually come to stillness, release the arms slowly. Start to roll yourself up one vertebrae at a time. Roll the shoulders down and back when we get here. I'll be doing that a couple of times if that feels good. And arms down by the side. So from here, just move my mat back slightly. Widen the stance a little bit, keeping the toes pointing forwards here. Bring the hands to the hips of the waist. Inhale, lengthen through the spine. Keep a little bit of a bend in these knees here. You never want to lock the knees out. Draw the belly in, and on the exhale, just start to bend forward, hinging at the hips, coming down until your torso is parallel to the floor. Keep that core nice and engaged. We'll just stay here for a moment. Inhale into lengthen. Imagine someone's pulling you through the crown of the head. And on the next exhale, draw the navel in. See if you can fold a little bit more forward. Maybe release the hands down to the floor. Releasing the head. On the next inhale, coming onto the fingertips, coming up to a flat back position. Exhale, fold. We'll do that one more time. So inhale onto the fingertips, lifting up for a flat back position. Exhale, fold. Now this time, see if you can walk the hands towards the left side. Maybe taking the left ankle, but just moving towards the left. And then walking the hands back to centre. And then walk them over to the opposite side. And walking the hands back to centre. Bring the hands back to the hips of the waist. Pull the navel in, engage the core. Start to push through the legs. Make your way back up to a standing position. Heel toe your feet in. You want your feet just over hip distance apart. Toes are coming out towards the sides, so about 45 degrees angles each. We'll be making our way down into Malasana, which is a yogi squat. Just take it easy, maybe On the way there, you can move side to side, just really get into the hips. If you feel any pain at all, then ease out of it. I can give you another pose as well. So just slowly making your way down. The heels might lift, you might come onto the balls of the feet, or the heels can stay grounded. Bring the arms in front of the legs here, palms together. And we'll stay here for a few breaths in our yogi squat. And the other option, if Malasana is not available to you, is just bringing the soles of the feet together while seated on the floor. Back nice and straight. Opening up the hips or the legs in this butterfly pose. So that's your two options there. We'll hold it for 2 more rounds of breath. And releasing yourself down to the mat wherever you are, legs out in front here. Nice straight back. Inhaling to reach the arms up, gazes up, it feels okay for that. And then exhale, fold forward, hinging at the hips. Just let the hands fall wherever they naturally fall. While you're here, you want to make sure that the toes are flexing in towards the knees, trying to pull that pinky toe in towards the knee if you can. Keeps the legs nice and engaged. Have a little bit of a bend in the back of the knees here as well, so you're not locking out the legs at all. Try and keep back nice and straight, and we'll move with our breath again. So on the inhale, try and lift up through the spine. And the exhale, draw the navel in and see if you can fold a little bit more forward. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, navel to the spine, fold forward. Maybe releasing the head down. Inhale, coming up, lengthen. Exhale, fold. This time just staying here for a round of breath. See whether you can melt any more or any further into the pose. And slowly start to walk the hands up. So we're upright. Bring the soles of the feet to the floor, so the one about the knees will be moving where the knees are stacked over the ankles. You might need to readjust yourself as we move into this next pose. Hands come behind us and shoulders are stacked over wrists, fingers are pointing forwards here. So our first option for this pose, if you've got weak wrists or just general pain in the wrists, just push through the chest, open up here. So that's our first option. The second option is to push into the hands, push into the feet, start to lift the hips up, push the hips up. This is where you might need to readjust the feet slightly. The head can be lifted a little bit, or you can release it back, but only if it feels okay for the neck. Hold it here. And then exhale, slowly releasing back down to the floor. Releasing the hands, maybe giving a little bit of a roll out. Maybe a couple of shoulder rolls as well. And from here, we'll slowly make our way down onto the floor. So just rolling down. Bringing the left knee in towards the chest. Straighten the right leg out. Keep the toes of the right leg flexing in towards the knee, and then start to pull the left knee in towards the armpit. Exhale, release the leg out. Bring the opposite leg in towards the chest. Interlace the fingers around the shin. Start to pull that knee in towards the armpit here. Keeping the left or the toes of the straight leg flexed in towards the knee. Keep breathing into the belly while you're in these poses. this is where you have the option, if you've got a brick or a book nearby, you might like to grab that. So bringing the soles of the feet to the floor, the knees are pointing up, hands down by the side of this first bit, and then just slowly start to tuck the pelvis, and lift the hips up, rolling up the spine. If you do have your book or your block handy, place that just under just where your underwear line is, so where the sacrum is, and just gently place the hips back down there. So this is a very slight inversion here. It's a restorative pose, often used in yin yoga and restorative yoga. If you don't have a block, then you have the option of just lifting the hips up, pushing into the hands and just holding it here. It's still an inversion, so we're still getting the benefits. It's just a little less restorative as we're engaging the leg muscles as well. As you're here, make sure you've got a little bit of a gap. You want about the size of an apple between your chin and your chest. You want to just keep your gaze on the ceiling. And exhale, just rolling back down to the mat. If you've got your book under your hips, and you can keep it here if you like. And if not, it's perfectly fine. You can do this without a block as well. Keeping the hands on the floor. Just start to lift the left leg up and then the right leg up. So the soles of the feet are towards the ceiling. You can try this with a book or without. Everyone's a bit different. Some people prefer it with or without. Otherwise, if you're near a wall, you can also try using a wall as well. So if you're near a wall, just bringing the hips over towards the wall and slowly lifting the legs up, so your legs are just supported by the wall here. So that's the other option as well. And wherever you are, just bring your arms up as well. Fingertips just pointing up. You need to just engage the core a little bit here. We're just getting the stagnant lymph moving down the body from the extremities. If you can find, most people can find a bit of a sweet spot here where the legs feel like they can just stay there for a long period of time. I've got quite tight hamstrings, so I do struggle a little bit with this. That's why the wall is sometimes a good option. And releasing the arms down, slowly releasing the legs down. Moving any props out of the way here. Just lift the hips up and slowly, or just move them over to the left a little bit. And then drop the knees over to the right. The arms can be out at the T, or you can cactus the arms here, arms facing up. And then if it feels okay for the neck, just send your gaze over the left arm or shoulder. Keep breathing into the belly here. And the inhale, bringing the legs back up to center, pushing into the feet, lifting the hips, just take them over to the right slightly, and then drop the knees over to the left, and the gaze can be out over the right if it feels okay for the neck. inhale, drawing the knees back up to center. You can either send the legs out long here, arms down by the side, palms facing up, or you can bring the soles of the feet so they're just about mat distance apart, and just let the knees drop in here so the legs are supported. That's usually better if you have any lower back niggles or discomfort. And if you like, you can gently close the eyes. Just start to bring the awareness back to the breath. Notice whether you're still breathing into the belly. Maybe you're breathing into the chest, maybe the ribs. Just notice where your natural breath falls. And now we'll take 3 breaths together. So I invite you, if you like, you can bring the palms of the hands to the belly again, or you can have them out by the side. And we'll just breathe into the belly here. So inhale through the nose, feel the belly expand. Exhale, feel the belly soften. And then again, inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Now just let your breath return to its natural rhythm. You can start to make some small movements, maybe moving the fingers, the hands, the wrists. Move the legs side to side, maybe wiggling the toes. If you like, you can draw the hands up, the arms up overhead, legs out long, full body stretch. And just making your way up to a seated position. I think I did go over slightly on the times. I apologise for that. I hope you did enjoy the class anyway, and thank you for all of your hard work. We really appreciate it, and namaste.